Reconciliation is communicating and sharing stories and culture, and it's for bad times to good times that we had growing up back in the 50s and 60s. I'm Bluey Roberts. I'm a Nurrinjeri Ramanjeri, and my group is Karkanjeri, and my mum is a Kumakatinjeri from the lakes and the Coorong. My dad was a shearer, and we followed Dad around. No schooling, hardly any schooling out, but all my schooling was in the bush. So the bush was my blackboard, and sharing all the fauna and flora I learned to draw. I seen the dollar note, and that was the only piece of artwork I seen around at the time. So I looked at that and gave me ideas, and got some art books out of the library and that. And I found some old paint out of the rubbish tip. Some had still paint in them. So I picked them up and I started painting with that. My dad was cutting wood out from Renmark, that was in the early 60s. And one day he cut up some elbows and he made boomerangs out of them. So that gave me a lot of ideas then, how to make boomerangs when I was young. I think I was only 10-year-old, I think, Ben. Yeah, I was a 10-year-old. I started painting them, and then I remember some of my uncles hatching them out and burn them with wire. But you get your fingers burnt a lot too when you're a kid learning. So it's just the skills I picked up watching some of the old people making artefacts at Gerard Mission. Back then it was hard, and not a lot of work around. People had to find work, and not a lot of people employed you, but we had to follow the work around it. Because we had a lot of restrictions on us where we went and what we had to do. So the law was, we weren't allowed to camp in town. We had to camp 1 mile out of town. That was the town limit. And where I grew up down Meningie, it was 1 mile. And if you camped any closer than that, well, you could be fined or jailed or taken away to the welfare. My cousins was unfortunately got taken away, the Ruby Hunter and brothers and sisters, and we never seen them until they was older. I call the river red gum tree spirits because when you cut into the bark, it'll bleed just like a human being bleed. So I didn't cut the whole tree to ring bark it. I only cut what I needed out there, and the bark would seal over, it would heal. But to make it heal a little bit faster, I used to get some clay from the riverbank, and I used to put around the scarring part, and I go back there 12 months after, and that tree is healed. The designs and symbols I got in the piece of artwork is places of camping, hunting places, and ceremonial places, some burial sites. You learn all that when you're young, You don't kill anything unless you're going to eat it. Everything's meant to live. Even an ant or an insect, Without any of those creatures around, we won't survive without them. So this tree here is the reconciliation tree spirit, and it'll be quite live for a long time after I'm gone.